The morning sun cut through the pine trees with sharp golden beams, slicing the cold mountain air and casting long shadows that danced like spirits of the past. The clearing was bathed in an eerie glow, each ray of sunlight illuminating secrets buried deep beneath the surface. Dust hovered mid-air, unsettled from restless boot tracks, and the angry churn of shovels, hanging like a warning, refusing to settle. It felt like the earth itself was holding its breath. The silence was not peaceful. It was tense, charged, unnatural. Only the caw of distant crows broke through, echoing like omens. Beneath it all, the soft, slow crunch of gravel under a worn boot shattered the stillness. Someone had come, and they were not alone. Rip knelt next to a tiny pit in the ground and peered at the dim trace of a boot print. His jaw tightened, taut and ready for battle, yet his face was unreadable. Another man, with a wrinkled face and inquisitive eyes, moved forward behind him and mumbled, "I can't tell anything from this." "Where do we stand?" Silently, Rip asked in a tense, scratchy voice. The man made an ambiguous motion. "That's right over there." They walked the short distance in silence. Rip pointed to the showcases, fragments of shattered glass catching the light like warning signals. "Look," he said, "didn't find anything." "That's because I don't think he was standing there," the man replied, his voice colder now, lined with implication. From Rip's throat came a deep growl of frustration. He brushed dirt from his jeans and carefully stood up. He picked up his rifle, which lay nearby, slowly and deliberately. Another man narrowed his eyes and questioned, "Were you standing?" "I was kneeling," Rip replied resolutely. "Are you certain you were present?" "I'm positive it's there." The agent's face became angular. "Give it to me." Rip remained still. The agent reiterated more sternly, "Give it to me." Unwillingly, Rip handed over a tiny item that was clearly significant, glossy, and scuffed. With a tone of disdain, he remarked, "I just forgot to pick this up." The agent yelled, "That's proof." This time, "Where did you find it?" "No, exactly where he stated." Rip hesitated. "Not where you said—" 15 yards, said another man. "Very, very close." "Where'd you find it this time?" "No, right where he said." Rip paused. "Not where you said." 15 yards, another man chimed in. "Pretty damn close." "Close enough for me," the agent muttered. He locked eyes with Rip. "That is self-defense, Sheriff." The sheriff, who'd remained silent until now, shook his head. "I have no idea why you'd want to disguise that." "I forgot I picked it up, okay?" Rip snapped. "Jesus Christ." A heavy silence fell, weighted with the knowledge that something important had just been said. Something that would come back around later, maybe sooner than they thought. Back at the sheriff's office, the mood was anything but relaxed. "What are you up to?" the agent asked, suspicion crawling in his voice. "I ain't up to," came Rip's immediate reply, curt and defensive. "That showcase may get him off the hook with Fish and Wildlife," the agent continued, "but I just pulled 2 dead bodies out of that can, and I took your muscle's word for what happened." The room went silent as the door creaked open. Beth, we're closed at the moment," the sheriff said, startled. Beth walked in anyway, unbothered. Her presence charged the air with electricity. "My sister-in-law," she said flatly. She crossed her arms, eyeing the room like a lioness surveying intruders. She wasn't just here to make conversation. "I'm no lawyer," Beth began, "but I believe it's the Fourth Amendment that deals with unlawful search and seizure." "The search is voluntary," the agent replied quickly. Beth raised a brow. "Sure doesn't look voluntary to me." The men shifted uncomfortably. She advanced a step. "I went to high school with you," she said to one. Her eyes locked on the other. "And you babysat her husband. On her driver's license, her last name was Long." She let that linger before adding, "I doubt that's gonna save you, buddy." No one spoke. There was no need. Later, in a wide-open field at the edge of the Dutton Ranch, the wind swept low across the dry grass. The trespassers stood there, pink-haired, loud and ignorant of the fire they were poking. One of them pointed at a roaming bison. "You out of your mind?" he laughed. "Get back!" a rancher snapped, his voice steel. "Get back before that thing eats somebody!" "He's friendly," the stranger grinned. "He's not," the rancher hissed. The ranchers didn't move. They wouldn't. "See that fence?" one of the Dutton men growled. "That's mine. That fence down there, mine too. Everything this side of that mountain all the way to here, mine. You're trespassing." "Yeah." The pink-haired man smirked. "They don't believe you." He pointed a phone camera at him. "Said hi to YouTube." The other chuckled. "Says it's wrong for one man to own all this. Says you should share it with all the people." "This is America," the rancher replied coldly. "We don't share land here. You can't be here. This is National Park." "No," he snapped. "That's National Park. This ? This is the Dutton Ranch." The trespasser pointed to the signage. "Sign says Yellowstone. Big Y on it." "The Y stands for Yellowstone Ridge. It's the Yellowstone Dutton Ranch." The rancher stepped forward, dead serious. "I need you to move, across the road, or I'm going to have to cite you for trespass." He flashed his badge. "Says livestock agent." The pink-haired man laughed. "Oh, it's the cow police." His buddy added, "Look at this pink-haired hick mad-dogging me." "You got a problem?" the rancher growled. "You!" he spat. "What the did you just say to me?" "I called you a brother." No one moved. And then came the low hum of trucks arriving. The rest of the Dutton men poured in, silent, focused. A figure with a heavy beard and a heavier gaze stepped forward. "Which one of these is the boss of you?" he asked coldly. They pointed at the pink-haired man. The bearded rancher looked him dead in the eye. "I'm going to give you one last chance," he said. "You leave now, or you'll never leave. I'll bury you where you stand." The trespasser scoffed, trying to laugh. "We weren't bothering anyone, just having some fun." "This field's mine," the rancher said, not blinking. "That fence, mine. You damaged both, and then you came back to damage them more." The man took a breath. "If I did this to your home, what would you do?" "I'd kill you," the rancher said flatly. Silence again. "That's right." The earth turned over slowly, shovels in calloused hands, sweat pouring from foreheads. Trespassers who'd once laughed now dug with bowed heads under the rising sun. "The man said if you didn't leave," the rancher reminded them, "we'd bury you here. And you didn't leave." He watched them dig. "We keep our word in this valley." The trespasser looked up. "Fine, we'll leave." "Too late for that," the rancher said. "I said we'll leave." "I don't want you to leave," the bearded man answered, stepping forward. "I want you to dig." The sun had risen high now, turning the sky into a furnace dome. The men dug without protest. No words. Just the heavy sound of steel scraping earth and their own labored breathing. A young ranch hand stepped up. "All right, that's enough." The pink-haired man dropped his shovel. "Nobody said get out," the hand said sharply. The trespasser's face was pale, caked with dust. "Yeah, not much point now." He looked up, eyes weary. "I have children." "So do I," the rancher replied. And then, after a beat, "From what I've seen, yours will be better off without.